The 2028 Democratic primary is no longer just a race. It's a battlefield, a nation divided between experience and new energy, between moderates and progressives, between familiar faces and rising stars. Today on today's Blueprint News, we break open the latest polling, state by state, to reveal who is gaining power, who is losing ground, and which unexpected states are rewriting the entire election map. Nationally, Gavin Newsom holds a slim edge at 23.5%. Kamala Harris is inches behind at 21.5%, and Pete Buttigieg stands strong at 10%. AOC polls 7.3%, showing unmistakable progressive energy. Shapiro, Booker, and Warren each float around the 3% mark. Not frontrunners yet, but potentially powerful coalition builders. This is not a consolidated party. This is a divided party searching for its identity. And every state is a different chapter of that story. New Hampshire is where underdogs become frontrunners, and this time, Pete Buttigieg is seizing the moment. With 25.5%, he not only leads, but controls the narrative. Newsom at 21.6% is competitive, but AOC's 11.9% shows strong grassroots backing. Kamala Harris at 7.5% suggests her message isn't landing with New England independents who dominate the Democratic primary here. Meanwhile, Pritzker, Booker, and Mark Kelly remain in the single digits, showing this state thrives on early name recognition and direct voter contact. Alaska is one of the great political paradoxes of the primary. Nearly every top candidate is within striking distance. Newsom leads with 23%, but Buttigieg at 20%, Harris at 19%, and AOC at 17% indicate a highly engaged, highly unpredictable electorate. This state favors authenticity and independence, which is why the margins are razor thin. Even Tim Walz, Pritzker, and Gretchen Whitmer manage 5 to 7%, showing the field is unusually wide open.
California isn't just another state. It decides momentum for the entire West. And this is where Gavin Newsom unleashes his power. 35.3%, a massive, dominating lead. But the real story is the battle for second place. Pete Buttigieg at 15.9% is outperforming expectations, proving he still resonates with younger, college-educated professionals. AOC at 13.2% taps into California's progressive base. Harris at 9.2% performs softer than expected in her home state region, raising questions about her returning influence. Florida delivers the kind of shock that can reshape a primary. Pete Buttigieg takes the lead with 23%, powered by suburban moderates and Latino urban voters. AOC at 14% shows notable traction among younger Floridians. The biggest surprise? Newsom and Booker tying at 12%, a rare moment where both a West Coast governor and an East Coast senator lock in equal appeal. Andy Beshear, though at just 5%, shows signs of becoming a sleeper moderate candidate in southern and swing states. Maine is practically a statistical tie. Newsom 16%, AOC 15%, Buttigieg 14%. This is one of the few states where progressive, moderate, and establishment wings all hold nearly equal strength. Pritzker at 8%, Harris and Booker at 7%, and Whitmer at 5% show that Maine voters are deeply mixed ideologically. Anyone can win this state, and whoever does gains moral momentum as a candidate capable of uniting factions. Nevada hands Gavin Newsom one of his biggest leads of the entire primary. 37%, a commanding advantage. Buttigieg at 18.9% is a distant second. AOC at 8.9% struggles here due to Nevada's large working-class, union-heavy electorate, traditionally favoring more establishment Democrats. Harris at 6% is lower than expected, given her appeal among minority voters in previous cycles. This state proves Newsom's Western coalition is real and powerful. North Carolina is one of the most important early indicators of electability in the South. Pete Buttigieg takes first at 16.8%, a major win for a Midwestern candidate. Kamala Harris, at 12%, shows solid support among black voters, but Newsom, at 10.2%, struggles to break through in rural Democratic strongholds. Booker, AOC, Beshear, and Walz split the remaining vote, proof that no single lane has consolidated here. Ohio gives Gavin Newsom another lead at 20%, but Buttigieg at 15.3% remains solid. AOC at 8.1%, Walz at 7.1%, Harris at 6.8%. These numbers show Ohio is deeply moderate, deeply middle America, and demands a centrist message. Candidates who resonate here tend to perform well in other Midwestern states later in the cycle. Texas once again becomes a central battleground. Buttigieg leads with 21.6%, showing serious momentum among suburban and college-educated Democrats. Newsom at 19.5% and Harris at 16.8% make this a three-way race. Each candidate draws from different demographics. Buttigieg from suburban professionals, Newsom from urban liberals, Harris from minority voters and women's rights advocates. AOC at 5.6% struggles statewide, but strong youth support keeps her competitive in specific counties. And finally, Vermont, where the left and center collide in a fascinating balance. Newsom 17%, AOC 17%, Buttigieg 16%, a perfect three-way tie. This is symbolic. The establishment, the progressive movement, and the moderate wing are all equally strong. Harris, Pritzker, Beshear, and Booker remain in the single digits. This state captures the soul of the Democratic Party, divided, passionate, and searching for direction. So what does America's map tell us? No coronation, no runaway favorite. Instead, the Democratic Party stands on the edge of a generational shift, and every state paints a different vision of the future. Stay with today's Blueprint News for the sharpest polling breakdowns, the fastest updates, and the deepest election analysis. Because in the 2028 primary, every number is a clue, and every state is a battlefield.